Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom to people in the room and on Zoom. Did you ever notice that the word Shalom has Om in it? It's kind of cool, right? Om, Shalom, really draw it out. So I want to set an intention for all of us tonight that this room, this prayer, becomes a refuge for us in a world which feels so destabilized, chaotic, violent, that together we create a kind of ark of safety and prayer and offering and peace for just this evening. Let us welcome the angels.
Page 6 and 7. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא. On page 8 and 9. Toward the end of the page. We're asking God to reveal His shelter, God's shelter of peace over us. And that reveal, maybe it's asking us about It's asking us to believe in things that might be impossible. We believe in the impossible. Sarah in this week's Parsha is asked about the impossible. She's asked to believe in the impossible. And this is every Shabbat we sing Higale Na, reveal Higale, Higale, Higale. Page 10. לכו נרננה לאדוני נריע לצוי אישנו נקדם הבנה בתודה בזמירות נריע לו נקדמה פניה בתודה נקדמה פניה בתודה שנה, 40 שנה עקו בדור, ואומר דורי לבבל, והם לא ידעו ברכי, אשר נשבעתי באפי, אם יבואון אל מנוחתי, ידנה, 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 Page 12.
David is about the primacy of God's voice. These days, I hear so much clatter in the world, so many loud opinions, that it's actually hard to discern some kind of still, small voice which might resonate or echo with that of God, with divinity. So as we sing this remarkable psalm about the power of God's voice, maybe we can think about a world with God's voice restored to its rightful place.
Page 19 and 20. מזמור לדוד אהבו לאדוני בני אלים אהבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז אהבו לאדוני כבוד שמו השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש כל אדוני על המים אל הכבוד ירים אדוני על המים רבים וכל אדוני בכוח כל אדוני כל אדוני שומר ארצים שפר אדוני את ארצי הלבנון קידם עמו הגה לבנון וסריון כמו ונרמים כל אדוני חוזר לבודד כל אדוני יחיל מדבר יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש כל אדוני יחולל איילון ויחסות יערות הוא היכלו כולו מרכבות אדוני למבול ישב וישב אדוני מלך לעולם אדוני עוד לעמו ייתן די 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 Turn to page 2122. At the end of this prayer poem, I have a line, Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. When we say that line, I like to feel a sensation of being held After we're yelling out, we say, Shavatenu kabelu shmat tza'akatenu. Hear our cries, hear our yells. And then we end with Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. And for a second we can feel comforted, feel held. Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Please rise, everybody. Let's rise. Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch, Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. 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 Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Please be seated, everyone. Let me fix this for you. See you in a second. There you go.
In the Torah, in the Ten Commandments, as we find them both in the book of Exodus and in Deuteronomy, the command to keep Shabbat is not for an individual alone, right? It's you, your wife, your children, your servants, your animals, sort of a multiplicity of creatures that are commanded to rest. And when I was thinking about this, I never really thought about it this way before. I kind of took a Hasidic approach, I put a Hasidic lens on it, or maybe an internal family systems lens, and thought about these different creatures, people, as parts of ourselves. Who's the partner within, the wife, the husband? Who is the daughter, the son? Who are the animals within? Who is the stranger at your gates? And if you think about your work week, who are you overworking? Who needs to be set free by Shabbat? So if you're willing for a moment, or a few moments, to close your eyes and go within, and imagine the you that kind of owns or runs the household within. Who's that you? And how hard is that you working? And who's the partner? Does the you have a partner? Or does the you feel very alone in this world? Who's the wife, the husband, the partner, the lover? part of you might be the children, maybe the voices of creativity, perhaps suppressed, perhaps allowed to run free and really express themselves. Who are the beasts of burden within? And how well do you treat them? Do you feed them properly, regularly? Do you allow them to go to sleep at a reasonable hour? Do you hit them when they don't cooperate? Or are you gentle, kind of prodding them along with a loving touch? Maybe those are your soul animals, whatever that means. And who is the stranger at your gate, at the gate, who maybe wants to come in, wants to come inside the gates? The part of you that perhaps you don't really know, maybe you don't want to know, maybe you're scared of, maybe that stranger is in a lot of pain or having feelings that you're not really comfortable with. Can you let that stranger come a little closer? And imagine that all of these parts within are at this moment set free and allowed to rest, allowed the shleimut, the wholeness of Shabbat, can be kept close to you without making them do anything whatsoever. Just being together. In a world that's Shabbat for 24 hours, at rest, in wholeness, connected in God's light. And with that, we're ready to meet the Shabbat bride on page 24.
לך הדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך הדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך הדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת לתהילה. לך הדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונמחה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. אורח לך הדודי לקראת כלה, שבת נקבלה, מקדש מלך, עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי נקרא כלה, והנה שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי, קרבה אל נפשי גאלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, והנה שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, והנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, והנה שבת לך דודי לקראת כלה, נשמה נקבלה, לא תבושי, מה תשתוכחי ומתי ויחסו, אני עמי ונבנתה עיר הגדילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, ושבת נקבלה. איי איי איי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, לה 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 לה, ושבת נקבלה. היו לבשישה שוסי ורחקו כל ממלאי, יסיס עלייך אלוהי, כמסוס חתן על גלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, ושבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לילה לילה ושבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תרוצי, את אדוני תריצי, על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, ושבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, ושבת נקבלה. Shabbat nekavela, ay ay ay, nay 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 nay. דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה, 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 בשבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, לילה, 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 בשבת נקבלה. Please rise. בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה שבת המלכה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה ניי, יאללה ניי, יאללה ניי, ני שבת נקבלה. איי איי איי, לך דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, ני שבת נקבלה. Please remain standing, everyone. Turn to face the center. Turn to page 30. Turn our thoughts to those in need of healing. Ana elna refana la beharot la noam ziva az titchazeh vetitrape והייתה לה שמחת עולם. אנה אלנה רפנה לה בהראות לה נועם סביבה. אז תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לה שמחת עולם. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב, אמותינו שרה רבקה רחל ולאה, הוא יברך וירפא את החולים והחולות שהזכרנו כאן היום. הקדוש ברוך הוא יחזק אותם וירפא אותם, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף. שתה בעגלה מזמן קרים ונאמר אמן. Be seated, everyone. Shabbos.
Shabbos. Great to see everybody tonight again in the room and on Zoom. A couple of very quick announcements. Most of the announcements, or all the announcements, you have in your handouts. How's the sound? Okay. Next week, we're actually installing Chazan Shimon Smith. It looks like he's installed, but he's not actually installed yet.
We're preparing the
So we're going to
installation.
install him somewhere in this room.
Right, let me there.
Next Shabbat at what time? November 23rd?
It's at 6 p.m.
And we're
At
also
6 p.m.
serving dinner. Isn't that exciting? So join us then. And the only other thing that I want to mention
And sign
right
up.
now.
You need to sign up. They need to sign up.
Oh, you need to sign up.
Just to,
And when you sign up, you put a little blessing or a wish for Shimon in the sign up. So sign up quick.
it's not anonymous. So
It's not anonymous.
you can make it anonymous. They can make it maybe.
No curses, only blessings.
That's a different event. We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Oh, when is that? No.
Yeah.
The only other thing is Hasidic Masters with Rabbi David Ingber starts again this Monday at what time?
Craig.
Noon. Excellent.
Hot mic.
And I think that's online. Yeah?
Yeah.
Only online. Okay, excellent. So now we are ready to welcome new people in the room. Do we have a microphone runner? Yes, we do. Our trusty executive director.
Yeah,
right
we'd
there,
love to hear from
Jeff
new
Hahn.
people that are here. It's a tradition of ours to welcome you. If you'd like to stand up if you're here for the first time.
Just say your name and where you're from. And if you haven't been here in a long time, we also invite you to stand up and say something. And if you're on Zoom, feel free to put your name and where you're from in the chat.
Say hello and where you're from.
Oh, here we go. First brave person.
Okay. Hi, I'm Abby. I'm from Brooklyn,
Brooklyn.
California originally, but I'm here with my friend Anna, who's visiting from Israel.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Is Anna here for no, is Anna gamat po פעם ראשונה? Anna? Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
My name's Hanan. I'm originally from Sydney, Australia, but I moved here 8 years ago. And my wife and I, Anna, recently got married, so that's pretty cool.
Mazel tov.
Thank you. We're pretty proud of ourselves. And yeah, we're looking for a community. So
Where do you live now?
we live in Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
Okay.
Brooklyn.
Yeah. It took a while to get here, but we're happy to be here.
We're so happy
Welcome.
that you're here.
And Mazel Tov.
Aha, coming around to this side.
Oh, Sinai is going to be our.
thank you
Sinai's
so
our
much.
Oh, Sinai is going to be the runner. Okay.
Hi, I'm Esty. I'm from Long Island,
Hi,
Hi,
Esty, Long
Esty.
Island.
and I live in Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn.
So fun.
It comes in waves. Sometimes there's no Brooklyn, and sometimes everyone's from Brooklyn.
A lot of Brooklyn tonight.
Hi, Jeremy, here with my wife Camille, and we used to live in Brooklyn, but recently moved to the Upper West Side. Yeah, Upper West Side.
Welcome.
All right, welcome.
Hi, I'm Larry. From downtown and originally upstate. And I came here with my dear friend Larry, who just moved here from Los Angeles. And he discovered this place and was very excited to bring me tonight.
Welcome, welcome.
Yes, and I'm a member now.
Mazel tov.
Alejandra. I'm Adriana's sister, a member of the synagogue. First time here, visiting from San Francisco, so thank you guys for having us.
Hey, welcome. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Leora. I'm from 108th Street. Actually, I'm from Israel, from Jerusalem.
Oh, Baruch haba.
And I'm here to really thank you, Diane, for all that you are and for supporting the project on 109th Street. And I'll talk to you about the co-naming 109th Street block on Tiknat Hanes and Master.
So the
Thank
street
you.
I live on is now going to be called Thich Nhat
Exactly.
Hanh Way, yeah? And I helped with that project just a little bit.
Thank you.
Wow.
You're welcome. So happy you're here.
All right, you're welcome. Anybody else?
Someone over there?
It's for Zoom. Okay.
Go ahead.
No.
Hello, my name's Nessia. I came here from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
It's really fun. It's like call and response. And I've been like sort of out of the loop Judaically for a bit. And it's really cool to be here, and this community is beautiful. Okay,
Oh, nice.
Shabbat Shalom.
This is a very sacred loop.
So as we rise for the Baruch Hu, I'd like to ask everybody to just rise take 2 minutes, say hi to each other, maybe somebody you didn't see for a long time, maybe somebody you just met today. When you hear the music, join us.
Thank you. Yeah, turn it off.
Sorry, this thing is not right. show us. It's not working.
Show you a better way. Just take the time and show you.
Okay.
And also, I guess you gotta, if you wanted to do it, you gotta have a different.
Have to wear something different.
Well, like what I
Or
do,
like
I do here.
a jacket.
So I'm gonna show you a jacket.
I see.
And then I do like this.
I could wear a jacket this time.
Yeah. I'm happy you wore what you wore.
So embarrassed.
No,
Sticking out.
nobody knows. That's fine.
Okay, so that was funny.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just wanted to make sure that you go, It's great.
Everyone's very happy.
What reason is it?
There's no reason. They're happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy too. It's good.
I feel like you're dropping into a different vibration.
Yeah.
I do feel that too. Yeah. You feel that?
Yeah. It's good evening.
Good. Good.
I'm most happy also because Lily was like running around with her. Did you see her?
No.
She was running around here.
So that made you happy?
It's nice to see her. Good to see her.
No, I'm sorry I missed that. How did I miss that?
Oh, remember, when you do the davar, you stand in the middle,
Yeah.
and you bring two of these to you.
Okay, thank you for reminding me.
And you just stand in the middle, he'll do the rest. Try to ignore it, just bring it to the middle.
Okay.
Like low enough for it to be under your mouth.
Got it. Like this.
seated, everyone. Page 34. מוכן שכינה אלוהינו רוח העולם. אשר בדברה מעריבה ערבים, חוכמה פותחת שערים. לא משנה, את הזמן אני מסדר את החוק. אלא חיה וקיימת, תמיד תמלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוכה את שכינה המרהיבה ערבים. איי 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 לה 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 איי 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 לה 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 אהבת עולם את ישראל, אהבת המצוות חוק המשפטים תמיד. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו וקומנו שיח מחוקק שפתיך לעולם ואין יראינו אך ימינו. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמי. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך, page 39, בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. היה אם שמוע תשמעו מצוות. Adonai Elohechem Amen. Page 48. כמוך, באלים אדוני, מי כמוך, נדר בקודש, נורא, תהילו, עושה פלא,
מלכותך,
מלכותך אהובנך, בוא כהים,
לפני משה ומרים,
לפני משה ומרים, עוזר לי, אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד. ונאמר, יפדה אדוני את יעקב,
יפדה אדוני את יעקב,
וגאלו, מיד חזק ממנו,
חזק ממנו,
אתה אדוני, Page 49. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכה שלומך, השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, העמידנו מלכנו לחיים, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, הושיענו למען שמך, והגן בעדנו והסר מעלינו אויבינו, בחרב ורעב ויגון, והסר שטן מלפנינו מאחרינו, ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו, כי אל שומרנו מצילנו אתה, כי אל מלך חנון מרחומתה, שמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום, מעתה ועד עולם, השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים, לחיים. Please rise everyone. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, הבורא סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ועל ירושלים. Page 51 and 52, ושמרו, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. איי 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 ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. חצי קדיש יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועל מה דיברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן. יש מרבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי דקודשם בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה, and let us say Amen.
This past Wednesday, after postponing it and postponing it and postponing it, I finally went to jury duty. I figured I had to do it sooner or later. And you know how you go to this big room and there are lots of people there and everyone's looking at their phones or doing whatever they're doing and they're throwing a lot of information at you and you kind of tune out, which I did. You know, I perked up once in a while when I was like, okay, I have to pay attention to that instruction. But then they showed us this video that was really interesting about unconscious bias. And at some point, the narrator of this video showed us this figure, and she said, "How many triangles do you see?" So of course, I saw 2 overlapping triangles with 6 points, and it was a Jewish star. And I figured everyone else was seeing that too, but it turned out they weren't. Some people saw two triangles, 3 triangles, 4 triangles, up to 13 triangles. And it turned out, the narrator said, that there actually wasn't even 1 triangle. And why was that? Because the lines that made up the triangles were broken. And what our minds do when we see a pattern that's kind of familiar, we don't pay attention to the details, and we decide that that's the thing we think it is. That's a triangle. That's a Jewish star. So when I was sent to room 218, of course, I thought it was double chai. I'm not kidding, it was really 218. And it was double chai because I was actually released from jury duty after 1 day. And I was so happy because I had a big deadline, so. But our brains do fill in gaps, right? They fill in gaps all the time. We've got images inside our brain, and we look at the world and we say, oh, that's that, even if it might not be that. I know that was clear, so let me give an example. So the narrator said that let's say someone's late, and researchers have found that if that person is of a certain gender, let's say, then they're let off the hook. Oh, they must have run into traffic. But if they're a different gender or sexual orientation or ethnicity or skin color, then, oh, that person has a time management problem, right? Something else kicks in. And what we were asked to do as jurors, I was never actually impaneled, was imagine that the person that we're judging or deciding if they're guilty, liable, whatever the case might be, imagine that they're a different gender or ethnicity or nationality, and then see if you think the same thing about them. So we're always connecting dots, right? We're always drawing lines, and the lines are not necessarily there. Now, you might be wondering, how does that relate to the portion? And I'll tell you. The most famous story in this portion is Akedat Yitzchak. It's the binding of Isaac. And it seems like one story. It seems seamless. When you read it through, oh, God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son, and then God seems to have changed God's mind. But if you look at it carefully, what you find are really 2 very distinct texts. And what explains these 2 very distinct texts, which I'll explain to you in a few minutes, is something called the documentary hypothesis. Now, how many of you have heard about that? Great, so a lot of you haven't. Now, I have to say that when I was in rabbinical school, as soon as I heard those words, I tuned out. So I know a little bit about it, not a lot about it, and what I'm interested in is literary interpretation. So when it helps me with literary interpretation, I cue into this idea. So according to the documentary hypothesis, there are actually 5, not authors, but like schools of authorship, J, E, P, and D. Who am I missing? J, E, D, P, so I'm sorry, J, E, P, and D, so 4 schools. And the redactor of the Torah kind of weaves these pieces together. So different schools of thought create different literature that makes it eventually into the Torah. And it's almost like, imagine quilt squares, and someone sort of stitching the squares together. Or many redactors, actually. There's lots of redactors. Okay, I'm sure someone here knows a lot more about this than I do, but I hope that was clear enough. Yeah, okay, great. So the Akedah. So at the start of the story, the name of God that appears is Ha-Elohim, right? So that means to us that the Elohist school is behind it. And let me read you the first verse. V'Elohim nisa et Avraham, v'yomer elav Avraham, v'yomer hineni. And Elohim tests Abraham and says to him, Abraham, and Abraham says, here I am. And what does this Elohim tell Abraham to do? To sacrifice his only son, even though there's another son, the son that he loves, right? To sacrifice Isaac. So what a horrifying God this is. But in the first half of the story, Elohim, that name of God, appears 4 or 5 times, not any other name of God. And then the Elohim, the Elohist text takes us to this point. Abraham takes Isaac, puts him on the altar on top of the wood that Isaac has been carrying, stretches out his hand to slay his son, and suddenly the text shifts completely. It's as if we're reading a different story. Imagine yourself driving on a country road, heading towards the mountains, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you make a sharp left turn, your wheels are screeching, and you head instead to the ocean, right? And scholars say that the Elohist text actually ends up, even though it's not in the text directly, with Isaac being sacrificed, being killed entirely. So the Yahwist comes in, and suddenly we hear something else entirely. An angel of God, a Malach Adonai, which is the point, because now we're in the Yahwist text, calls from the heavens, Vayikra elav Malach Adonai min hashamayim vayomer, and says, Avraham, Avraham, Abraham, Abraham, vayomer hineni, here I am. And what does the angel tell him? Al tishlach yadcha el hana'ar. Don't stretch out your hand against the boy. Thank God, otherwise we wouldn't have a story at all. Ve'al ta'as lomu me'uma. Don't do anything to him. Ki ata yadati, because I now know, ki yarei Elohim ata, because you stand in fear or in awe of Elohim. So somehow, this text here, but not before, integrates 2 names of God. The Yahwist, right? First the Elohist, the Elohim, and now the Yud He Vav He, now Adonai. V'lo chasachta et bincha et yichicha mimeni. And you didn't withhold. So God now knows, Elohim now knows, that you didn't withhold your child from me. So again, we only have Elohim, Elohim, Elohim in the first half of the text. And the second half of the text, the angel of Yud He Vav He, right, of Yahweh, steps in and then brings in, even though it's the Yahwist, brings in the name of God, which is Elohim. So there's some kind of integration here. And that integration is what saves Isaac, right? So how does this work? So if you think about Elohim, the name of God, which is Elohim, means strict justice. And in fact, God says in the Talmud, right, there's a quote of God that says, if I create the world with strict judgment alone, how could the world endure? It would shatter from the harshness of justice. So Din, right, strict justice, which represents Elohim, or Elohim represents strict justice, is the God before whom we cannot endure because there is no rachamim. There's no forgiveness, there's no give, there's no flexibility. But if you ever sort of encounter someone that judges you so harshly, right, without forgiveness, and you feel you can't exist before their eyes. So the Torah here does something so brilliant, right? Moving from Elohim to Yud He Vav He, right? The Elohist to the Yahwist, but then bringing Elohim back in, so we have a measure of Din, we have a measure of justice, and a nice measure of Rachamim. And the Rachamim, again, is what saves Isaac's life. So I think, as I said before, some scholars say in the Elohist version, Isaac dies, right? Isaac doesn't survive at all. And what's interesting is that when Abraham goes back to his servants, he goes back alone. Isaac is missing from the text, and Isaac is missing from the text for 3 whole chapters after this, right? So there is some kind of strand here which points towards Isaac's complete disappearance or death. And some say, some of the rabbis say, some of the midrash say, he actually died, went to heaven for 3 years, 3 chapters, 3 years, and then was resurrected. And he's resurrected when? When Rebecca comes on the scene, right? In the context of relationship, in the context of a loving other who might help resurrect him from trauma. So what does this have to do with us and with now? I feel overwhelmingly that we live in a world that is split, that is fractured, that is full of harsh judgment. And I wonder if we can sort of use the Torah as a model, use this tapestry to sort of check the way we're splitting the world into 2. And I'm not saying that there aren't real enemies out there, or actually this is what I'm saying. We have to fight for the world we believe in and try, maybe with a small dose of rachamim, to humanize who we think are our enemies. I don't know if that's possible, but to keep the world human, I think we have to do that. To endure and to have our children and our children's children endure, I think we need a dose of rachamim, because the world can't exist just with strict justice. So this morning I ran into some friends of mine. We were walking dogs, and one friend said, yeah, my husband gets up, and instead of a practice of gratitude, is a practice of rage and fury, right? It's like talking about the news is a practice of rage and fury. So I'm wondering how we might bring, again, a little bit of rachamim to the world. And I often think about God's prayer for God's self in the Talmud, which I absolutely love. And God says, Yehi ratzon milfanai sheyichbishu rachamai et ka'asi. May it be my will that my mercy will overcome my anger. God's praying to God's self, because it's so hard, even for God, to have God's compassion overcome God's anger, right? The practice of rage and fury is more tempting to us, I think, than the practice of gratitude and compassion. And then God goes on, Vayigolu rachamai, sorry, I can't see, rachamai al midotai, ve'etnaheg im banai b'midat rachamim. And may my mercy prevail over my other attributes, and may I conduct myself toward my children with the attribute of mercy. So I bless all of us that this should be our prayer for ourselves, and we should repeat it again and again like a mantra, so that we live in a world where not only the people on our side are human, but even the world where the people across the divide are also human, as we fight for the world that should be.
Please rise, page 78 and 79. והשבותה אל לבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים והשבותה אל לבביך כי ההוויה היא האלוהים ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. If you're a mourner, please remain standing. Just going to go around. If you'd like to say the name of the person you're saying Kaddish for, if you're in mourning or observing your Yortzeit. David? Miss anybody? Page 116, if it's your custom to stand with the mourner, please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah. V'yomad yivrach cherutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayichon v'yamechon, v'chayei b'chol beit Yisrael, b'gala u'b'zman kariv v'yamru amen. V'hei shmei Rabbah mivarach l'olam l'yomei amaya. V'barach v'shabach v'pa'ar v'tromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei t'kudshah b'richu. Le'ela mikol b'chata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, tamiram b'yoma v'imru amen. Yehi shlam Rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'momar, hu yaseh shalom. עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. Let's rise, everyone, for Kiddush. I'd like to thank our davening team. Thank you, Judah, on cello and mandolin and harmonicas and singing. And thank you, Shoshana. May your voice get better by next week. We need you by next week. All right. Mhm. Thank you, Rabbi Diane Kohler-Esses. Thank you, Chazan Shimon.
Yes, thank you very much. I'd like to thank on AV over there, Craig. Thank you, Craig. And thank you, our staff here. Thank you, Victor and Blanca. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Tevin.
Eden.
Thank you, Eden. I'd like to thank Ann Claire who's online, yeah, and Sean in security. Thank you, Janie and Rafi, for watching Lily before. Thank you. And let's turn to Kiddush. Kiddush can be found on page 88. יום השישי ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי וחברותיי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא ברי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו מצוותיו ורצבנו ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Tomorrow at 8:45 we have open book, and at 10 we have Shabbat morning services. At 9:30 a.m. we have a family Shabbat up on the 3rd floor. Have a Shabbat Shalom. Ose Shalom b'moma, Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. And thank you, Sinai. Ve'al kol yoshvei Dever ve'imru. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imo